The four horsemen of the apocalypse are here. War, famine, pestilence, and death ride into town on their fiery steeds, heralding destruction and despair. They bring ruin and desolation wherever they go, leaving naught but smoldering ashes in their wake. Beside him rides Famine, her mount gaunt and emaciated, a stark reminder of the hunger that gnaws at her followers. Their presence alone enough to send shivers down the spines of the bravest knights. Even the stoutest hearts falter at the mere whisper of their names. For these are not mere mortals, but beings of legend, their origins shrouded in mystery, their powers matched only by their ruthlessness. Pestilence, the third, is swathed in green, a nod to the creeping rot that is his domain. He is the end of all things, the cessation of all hope. His gaze is a harbinger of mortality, his presence an omen of what is to come. As they draw nearer, the details of their horrifying forms become more apparent. The leathery wings of bats sprout from their cloven backs, their faces twisted into grotesque parodies of humanity, their eyes burning embers of malevolence. No matter how valiant the struggle, no matter how bright the flame of life burns, death's embrace is inevitable. And when he comes for you, there is no escape. And death, the last, carries a jagged sickle, its path a grim prophecy of souls he will soon claim. His scythe hangs slack at his side, a constant reminder of his macabre calling. His eyes, bottomless pits of eternal night, gaze unseeingly ahead, seeing all, yet truly comprehending nothing. Their arrival is foretold by whispers on the wind, rumors of impending doom. War sniffs the air, nostrils flaring at the scent of fear and despair that permeates the crumbling walls. They have locked their doors, barricaded their windows, but they know it is futile. The horsemen will find a way in, as they always do. It is merely a question of time before their reign of terror begins. Their mission, should they choose to accept it, is total annihilation. The villagers cower in their homes, knowing that there is nowhere to hide from the apocalypse. As the horsemen approach, a cacophony of sound erupts. The wind screams, the thunder roars, and the villagers' terrified screams pierces the air. Can anyone or anything stand against them, or will all be consumed by their terrible power? This is the soundtrack to their doom, a requiem for the dying world. Will anyone survive the wrath of the four horsemen? Only time will tell. But for now, let us watch as they ride into the sunset, bringing with them the promise of a new dawn, a dawn of fire and brimstone. The answer lies in the darkness that envelops the town, a darkness that promises only one thing: eternal night. Famine licks her lips in anticipation of the suffering she will soon reap. Pestilence chuckles, a sound like dry leaves rustling in a graveyard. And death remains silent, his thoughts inscrutable, his plans unknown. The ground trembles beneath their approach, as if the very earth fears their coming. Let us descend into the maelstrom, into the eye of the storm, where the horsemen ride forth, bringing with them the end of days. When they ride forth, it is a procession of shadows, a cortege of despair. Buildings collapse in the background as the horsemen ride side by side, their cloaks billowing dramatically in the wind. The camera slowly zooms in, revealing the grim determination on each rider's face. Their mounts paw the ground, eager to dash forth and unleash chaos. The stage is set, the players assembled, and the tragedy about to unfold. War astride his destrier raises his massive bow, its polished surface reflecting the lurid light. An arrow no thicker than his arm is nocked and aimed. He is ever vigilant, ever ready to unleash havoc upon the unsuspecting. A storm rages overhead as they approach. Lightning illuminates their scowling faces, each bearing a symbol of their grim purpose. The first war is clad in crimson and brandishes a mighty bow, his every arrow a harbinger of bloodshed. They have heard tales of the horsemen, their exploits whispered around campfires, their deeds recounted in hushed tones. But they never thought they would witness this spectacle of dread firsthand. He is the architect of grand campaigns and the puppeteer of entire nations. A miasma trails in his wake, corrupting all it touches. None can outmaneuver his intellect. None can withstand the onslaught of his brilliance. She clutches a staff tipped with a withered hand, its fingers gnarled and accusing. Her gaze sweeps over the town, calculating the suffering she will soon inflict. With a flick of his wrist, he can ignite a conflict that will burn for generations. At his command, armies clash and empires crumble. They are an unstoppable force of nature, each a master of their terrifying trade. Her touch withers crops and blights harvests, leaving her followers to face a winter of discontent. Her very presence saps the strength from those around her, turning neighbor against neighbor in a desperate struggle for sustenance. Where she walks, food rots, water turns to blood, and hope withers like a fallen leaf. Their leader, the enigmatic War, is a strategist of unmatched cunning, his mind a battleground of tactics and subterfuge. His touch is a whisper of decay, a prelude to the stench of rotting flesh. His breath carries diseases that mow down entire populations, leaving behind a trail of misery and despair. He is the unseen terror in the night, the fevered dreams that turn to waking nightmares. In his wake, the earth is cursed, the water poisoned, and the very air grows thick with suffering. Beside him sits famine, the embodiment of desperation. Then there is pestilence, the bringer of sorrow. And finally, trailing his spectral steed, is death, the ultimate arbiter, the silent reaper of souls. Together, they form a terrifying quartet, a symphony of suffering and damnation. In the distance, the four riders appear as specters against the darkening sky. Silhouetted by the flickering glow of a dying sun, the villagers cower in their homes, their prayers lost in the howling tempest. A bolt of lightning splits the sky, momentarily illuminating the horror before them. Beside him, Famine urges her skeletal horse forward, its ribs stark against its hide like a roadmap of misery. Behind them, a greenish hue emanates from Pestilence, who leans over the neck of his mount, crooning words of sickness and decay. Finally, at the rear, Death rides his spectral steed, its form shimmering like a mirage. The riders pause at the edge of town, surveying their future domain. The villagers huddle together, their faces pale with terror, their eyes wide with disbelief. The wind rises, whipping their cloaks about them, billowing their dark robes like sails on a ship of damnation. The four horsemen of the apocalypse have arrived, so let us follow them now into the heart of the city, where amidst the ruins and the falling debris, we shall witness the birth of a new hell on earth. The horses' hooves pound the cracked cobblestones, the sound echoing ominously through the deserted streets. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning illuminates the sky, revealing the true extent of their terrifying power. But above it all, a heavy orchestral music swells, building in intensity as the horsemen ride on,